I just had my first kickboxing fight the other day and I got fucking smashed. I lost. And honestly, like, to an extent, it was the result I was not expecting. And that was largely because of my ego overestimating the whole thing. And with that being said, during the actual fight as well, and even before, it was incredibly nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, it fucking hurt. It was painful, being kicked and punched way harder. The intensity was to a level I'd never experienced before in training. And, it was just like, what is it? We had about 3 rounds. Each one was about 2 minutes. That's about 6 minutes. Yeah, it was only 6 minutes in the ring. Some of the most intense 6 minutes that I've ever had in my entire life. And, despite it being nerve-wracking, despite him losing, and, even feeling a bit embarrassed afterwards, and like, oh shit, I lost, I wasn't expecting that, that wasn't the result I wanted, despite the pain and the intense nerves and just the overall intensity and the pressure of everyone watching and everything, despite all that, the uncomfortable parts of it, it was by far probably one of the most, if not the most fulfilling experience of my entire life, and I'm so glad I did that. Because, truth be told, I fucking needed it. I needed it. Because at the end of the day, I got through it. Fine, I stood my ground and I just did my best. Was the result I was expecting? No. And then the fascinating thing was, because this was my first fight, but and this is a bit embarrassing to admit, but leading up to the fight, I remember, so I have a bit of a problem with daydreaming and, fantasizing about situations, replaying things in my head, and getting stuck in my mind a lot. And before this fight, I kept imagining myself, winning, showing off to, the people that I care about in the crowd, all cheering me on and whatever, and me doing some sick-ass move and, faking them out, doing whatever. Basically, I kept fantasizing over and over again about me winning. Not once did I ever fantasize about me losing, about me really getting hit that much. No, it was all in my favor. I got very stuck in my head. And this is something I've always had issues with, just in any sort of domain, just getting very stuck on my head and dwelling on imagination and thought. And then I got into the fight, and then the exact opposite happened. The exact opposite happened. I got my fucking ass whooped. I got humbled and a half. And you know what? I still got through it. The people that were watching were still proud of me. And most of all, I was still proud of myself that I was still able to get in there and actually do it and survive. Stand my ground and just do my best. Sure, it was intense. Sure, it was uncomfortable. Sure, it was nerve-wracking. Sure, it was really excruciatingly tiring and hard. And like I said afterwards, I felt a bit embarrassed, like, oh, I lost her. But it's kind of like, it's like that feeling when you experience any sort of rejection. One of my favorite authors, he wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Mark Manson, said something that I absolutely love. It's like, whenever you get shot with any sort of rejection, whenever you're told no, whenever something doesn't go your way, whenever you put yourself out there, you put your ass on the line, do something uncomfortable, when it doesn't go your way, you get shot with 2 arrows. The first arrow is the initial pain. It's in my case with the fight, feeling a bit, uncomfortable afterwards, feeling a bit embarrassed, like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, you get self-critical. That first arrow eventually fades, like, decently quickly. Yeah, sure, it stings, but eventually fades. The second arrow that also hits you is how you handle that failure, how you handle that rejection. And depending how you perceive that arrow, in this situation, whether I could have just gone, oh no, I should have beaten him, or it's not fair, whined and whatever, or whether I, lose the kickboxing fight, which I did, and then kind of go, like, oh, I lost, I feel a bit humiliated and embarrassed, all these heavy emotions, and, it was a very intense experience, an uncomfortable experience, but hey, I got through it, and maybe if I can get through that, then I can do a lot more, and I'm capable of a lot more. I feel like, those very 2 different perspectives on the outcome of the, failure, rejection, whatever it is, or even just any outcome, that second arrow is going to stay with you for way longer. So the first arrow that hits you is that initial pain, just whatever that is, will fade very quickly. And then the second one is how you perceive it, and that one's going to stay with you like a scar. It's basically going to stay with you for a lifetime, or as long as you remember it. And the best part about that second arrow is you can control it completely. And so, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Put yourself in seriously uncomfortable, like, positions. I love, this concept of, and you'll hear so many other people who have done fights say this, I love this concept of, putting yourself out there and, challenging yourself to a fight or like a competition of some sort, because, it's tough. You're putting yourself in front of someone who literally wants to hurt you, but the thing I love about it is there's a healthy amount of pressure, not only from everyone that's watching, but, training up for it, and your coach who's right there with you, and your friends and your family and the people you care about, or your partner or whatever. And so you kind of have no choice, and you do it anyway, and you learn how to manage yourself under such intense pressure with the, privilege of having other people help you get through that. That's why I think fighting is so beautiful. But it isn't just that, it's like that with anything you do in life. Just, you've got to, I don't know what else to say other than you've just got to go and do the hard thing. And if you can't, if it's too overwhelming, fuck it, go and do a little bit of it. Let's just say you want to have a better social life and be able to make deeper connections or whatever. Going out and just even talking to people is too hard. Okay, well then go outside, do your normal life, and the moment you notice something cool with like a stranger or something, like, I don't know, maybe you're walking past a stranger who's wearing like a cool jacket, and you can be like, give them a compliment, just be like, oh, that's a cool jacket. Don't expect anything in return, don't even expect a conversation, just expect, just to try, just a little bit. Start small, and that's just one example. I mean, it's with anything in life, but yeah. It's just, and the great thing, I'll finish with this as well, because the great thing about doing my fight, as well as, not only does it generate so much confidence when you do something hard, and then no matter whether you win or lose, or you fail or you win at it, because either way you still get through it, like that generates so much confidence. Confidence doesn't come before anything else. You don't need to be confident to do anything. You've just got to have courage, and then the confidence comes as like an after effect. But in saying that, it's just so liberating doing hard stuff. It sucks. I don't know it's not easy, seriously, and I say that with a heavy heart, because I know there's going to be so many more experiences in my life. It's never going to end, but there's going to be so many more experiences that are going to be just as hard, they're going to be just as painful, physically or mentally, whichever one. But at the end of the day, we're going to get through it. And no matter what your stupid fucking mind says, that's all that matters. You got through it, and if you can look back and reflect, and maybe see what you could have done better, and maybe can self-analyze and whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, all that stuff is important, but at the end of the day, you got through it. And most people won't even try. So, have good self-talk. Go easy on yourself. I know it sounds like cliche advice that all these people throw at you, but so many times we don't feel like we are deserving of going easy on ourselves, or we don't know the importance of positive self-talk and whatnot. But that is why experiencing rejection and failure is so important, because these things so easily prompt us to talk so badly of ourselves. But if you can go out there and you can do something hard and then fail at it, great, good. That's what you need. That's where growth comes from. So I don't know, I feel like I'm rambling too much at this point, but yeah, it was a really amazing experience, and I just really wanted to share that, going into my first fight, losing, completely contradicting my expectations, and, learning heaps from it. Learning not only what it takes to really be a fighter, but learning heaps about myself and how I handle under pressure. And that, if I can get through something like that, face a little bit of potential embarrassment, or face, those negative emotions in my head, face my mentality, then I can get through anything. And that's what really matters, because that's what your entire life is going to be like. Your mind will make it out to be, oh, I'm failing, I'm struggling, or whatever. It's okay to struggle. Let yourself struggle. Let yourself fail a bit and fuck up and embarrass yourself, whatever it is. Those things are good for you. And change your mentality, or train your mentality. It's not going to happen instantaneously, obviously, but train your mentality to appreciate those things, because they're privileges. And at the end of the day, so many other people, especially the people who will fucking criticize you for it, probably won't even go out and challenge themselves, and can't even do what you have done anyway. So it's like, why would you care? Who are you trying to impress? It's like, go out there and fail a bit. That's what life's about. So yeah, just wanted to share that. But yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. Cheers.